Matthew.
Mark, Luke, John.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So, I grew up reading the Bible in Spanish, and so I know, like, Matthew, Mark, Mateo, like, all those, but I know them in Spanish. So whenever we're in church, and they're like, turn to Habakkuk, and I'm like, Habakkuk. And I, like, in my mind, I'm, like, trying to translate it into Spanish. Are you burping? I thought you were gagging. Sorry.
I was trying to burp quietly, so I'm not like blah in the mic. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sip&Awe, where God puts you on awesome. I'm your host, Brandon Winsor, and today we have the most beautiful guest ever. It's my beautiful wife. Hi, babe.
Hi, babe.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm ready for this coffee.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's time for the Sip&Awe. Everyone put your cups in the air. Oh, this is really hot. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Lord, for the day that He has made for you and me. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
You forgot to That's the ah.
It's the main part.
What's up, babe?
Oh, nothing. What's up with you?
Not much. I'm just chilling. My day off. Thanks for wanting to do this.
Of course.
But Sunday is a very special day.
It is.
Which I'm posting it on Sunday. So today's a very special day.
Okay. Yes, today is our 1-year anniversary.
Ooh. Happy anniversary, my love.
I love you.
I love you.
But yeah, I've enjoyed these 365 days with you, baby.
Thanks, babe.
But okay. Let's
talk about our wedding day. Were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you questioning?
No, there was no questioning. I think every bride is nervous that day. And so I was a little bit nervous, but there was so much fluff time in between. Because I've seen or I've heard photographers who don't have time, and so there was plenty of time. Mm-hmm. So we were ready. What time did our wedding start?
6. No. 2, 3. It was an afternoon wedding. That's all I remember.
Brandon, it started at 6.
It did?
It did, yeah.
Oh.
But then we pushed it back to like 6:15 or 6:30 because there was like 10 people there. Just to give them a little bit. I do remember that. But I was ready. Like, I was like ready to get out that door. And we waited like 15 more minutes. And when I came out, it was like full.
Packed of people.
Yeah. I think the majority of the people that we invited went.
Showed up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a good day. RG didn't go. Shout out to RG who didn't go to our wedding.
RG is my cousin. And she was, I asked her to be my bridesmaid. But she was like, yes. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be there. And sure enough, like 2 weeks before the wedding, she was like, actually, I won't be there. She went to
Disney World. Disneyland.
Disney World, Disneyland. I don't know. But I got to invite one of my other sweet friends, Madeline.
Oh,
I love Madeline. But
shout out to Madeline.
Yes. So it was beautiful. It was a beautiful wedding. Some things happened behind the scenes that I didn't know about until like we got back from our honeymoon.
Oh, like the candle thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah. What was another one? That the candle thing's the only thing I know of. Okay,
so just quickly to explain the candle thing. Janine was our amazing day of coordinator, and she is one of our the Parsons are some of our closest friends, right, Brandon?
Yes.
So Justin and Janine, they are the Parsons.
Just kidding, they're the best.
And Janine was my day of coordinator. She helped me plan the wedding. She was like, make sure you got this and that. So she spent a lot of time.
She did a really good job.
She did. So if you need a day of coordinator, Janine Parson is your girl.
And it comes with a +1 because she will put her husband to work.
Yes.
Yes. She will.
And so she was like, they were all, they looked really professional because they had like the church's mics.
Their headphones, like one headset, like a security guy in one ear, and they were like talking into it.
It was really cool.
They're like, the bride is on the way. And everyone's like, the bride is on the way. Super profesh.
Yeah. And so, the plan was during the ceremony, they were going to be in there, right? Mm-hmm. And then towards the end, because she had the whole plan, like she had what was going to happen. We switched it up last minute though, and we didn't tell her. And so she didn't know that we skipped the vow part because we had an intimate vow, right?
Yeah, we had in-person Private vow.
Yeah, because I was too nervous.
Vow time.
And so she didn't know that. So she was supposed to tell her husband and Zach Yano, oh my gosh, to go light up the candles. And she ran out of time. So she was like, candles, go light up the candles, hurry. And so they ran out there and they were like, someone was like, yeah. So they went. So that was the one incident. And then the other incident was one of my bridesmaids, Cynthia, beautiful Cynthia, her dress broke.
Uh-oh.
So we took the group photos, and then I guess during the photos or towards the end of the photos, the back of her dress just like tore.
Exploded.
It didn't explode, but it tore. And they're like, I think this is what I remember them telling me. Serena tried fixing it, like sewing it, because I remember seeing them have like a needle and some thread. I didn't think anything of it because I was like in bridezone, right? And later I found out that Cynthia went all the way to David's Bridal. She called them on the way. She was like, hey, I'm this size. I need this color. And I need the dress now. Like, I'm in a wedding, and we're about to go down the aisle, like, in an hour. And so, praise God, they had the exact size that she needed, the exact color. It wasn't, like, exactly it, but it was very close. I couldn't even tell that she had a different dress when we walked down the aisle and when we did the dance. Like, wow. No idea. But I was like, I can't believe that happened, and I didn't even notice. They were so good at, like, not telling me anything that went wrong, so.
Nice.
Less stress.
Yeah, before the wedding, I was pretty nervous. I was nervous that entire week. That was a really big week for me. I moved out of my dorm room, which I lived there for 4 years. My brother was in town. So that was just like, oh my gosh, my brother's in town. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the day of my wedding, I woke up and I went to go see my family. And they were talking about how Shreveport is just so ghetto.
Really?
They were telling me things. They were like, guys, like we went out to dinner, we drove down the street, and we saw prostitutes on the road. And this might come off wrong, but a part of me was a little jealous because I've never seen a prostitute in person. So I was like, wow, you guys actually saw like the deep, dark side of Shreveport. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought they were making it up because after 4 years, I've never seen that ever. I don't think jealous is the right word. I just didn't believe what they were saying.
Yeah, I don't think jealous would also be the right word. But.
Yeah, I can tell that, yeah. We went to breakfast, ran into Pastor Denny, Pastor Deonza.
I can't believe y'all went to breakfast. Like, here I am rushing out of the house, trying to get to the church. I don't even know what time I was supposed to be there, maybe 8, 9.
Yeah.
To get my makeup and my hair done. But anyways, you went to breakfast.
I went up to breakfast with my family, went to another broken egg. Praise Jesus. Saw Pastor Denny, saw Pastor Deonza. Went back to the hotel. Went back to the church. My dad met me there, and my dad just hung out with us all day. It was so fun. There was nothing going on. We stayed at the church, obviously, because I was getting married. There was a lot of fluff room. Like, me and the boys, we just chilled. There was nothing to do.
Yeah.
And so we got there like at 10 o'clock. And so from 10 to like 4, we did nothing.
Oh, my God.
And I was so nervous that I couldn't eat. I felt terrible because I don't remember who made all those sandwiches. Was that Madeline?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
But yeah, we provided like sandwich stuff for the bridesmaids and groomsmen and ourselves to eat.
Yeah. So it was like a little cute lunch. But not just one sandwich. It was a butt ton of sandwiches.
Yeah.
I didn't eat one because I was so nervous. And so I was like, Dad, I would love a smoothie right now. He's like, yeah, let me go get you one. Where's the smoothie place? I'm like, Dad, thank you so much. And then he ended up getting almost everyone a smoothie.
Oh.
It was super sweet.
That was the first time, the day of our wedding was the first time I met your dad in person ever. And I was like, oh, hello, sir. But I was like nervous, it was my wedding day. And then I'm also nervous because I'm meeting your dad for the first time. And I wanted to make a good impression.
So all the emotions are just like, oh. That was my first time seeing my dad in 3 years because of COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, so we just didn't really have the chance to get out there. And so whenever he showed up, me and my brother were talking, and I'm just staring at this dude walk up to the church. I'm like, is that my dad? No, that's not my dad. And he's like, yeah, that's Dad. I was like, that's my dad? And it was an awesome moment. And then went to Cane's afterwards, after we prepared for the wedding. So we had rehearsal the day before. We went to Cane's after, and we just sat there for like a good hour and a half talking.
Oh, yeah.
It was so fun. My wedding was so fun.
It was. I don't know about the rest of the people who helped clean up afterwards. Janina was like, we stayed there for so long cleaning. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for doing all
Janine's
that.
like, that's the last time I'm the wedding coordinator.
No,
I'm just kidding.
she and I recently were coordinators of another sweet friend of ours, Megan.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, she's not Warland anymore. She's Megan Knight.
She's Megan Knight.
Ooh.
Good night. Hey, yo. And then we went to Cancun for our honeymoon.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
10 out of 10. I will say this. Our first night was terrible. And here's why. The restaurant we went to.
What restaurant?
The restaurant we went to was like the Flower Pot or something. That's what it was called.
Oh, yeah.
And rather than it being a meal, it was only finger foods.
Charcuterie board.
Yeah. And so I was like, what is this? Like, did we make a mistake with the resort we picked? Is this what the food is like? Because it was just little cubes of cheese, little slices of meat.
Yeah.
And I was starving.
I remember that.
And we got there a little bit later. And so I don't remember why we went to dinner so late. I don't remember we took a nap or we were like walking around.
we went to the beach.
That's right. We went to the beach.
It was empty, you remember?
Yes.
Well, because everyone was at dinner. We didn't know that.
We didn't know.
Yeah.
And we found out the beach was technically closed, but legally, if I remember correctly, I don't want to say the city of Cancun owned the beach, not the resort. So it was technically open, but according to the resort, it was closed.
Yeah, the resort was like, if anything happens, you're on your own. We're not helping you. So
right.
That's why we're saying get out.
Yeah, so that's why we were the only people on the beach, and it was really beautiful.
It was.
The water was just blue. I was there with my wife. It was awesome. And then we get to the hotel, we get ready for dinner, and we go out, and everything's closing. It's like, man, what is happening? And the charcuterie board place was the only place open, and it was terrible.
Well, the few restaurants that were open had a dress code, and we were like in shorts.
Yeah.
You had to dress nice. And we did have clothes to dress nice, but not, we weren't wearing it. But it was a beautiful resort.
So fun.
I remember Pastor Ricky was the one who recommended. Every time we'd meet with him, was like, it's gonna be so awesome, and he did not.
He would count that. He was counting down the days.
Yeah, and all the hype he gave that resort was
legit.
Like it was real.
It was real.
She was like, it's so good. The service is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if you wanna go somewhere without kids,
listen,
it's adults only. Excellence Resorts, and then they have like in Cancun, Riviera Maya. Puerto Rico. I know the Tynans. We have so many great friends.
You guys have met Sean before, Sean and his wife.
But you haven't met Serena. Serena, she's amazing. Okay, so the Tynans went to the same Excellence Resort.
But somewhere else.
But like an hour away from where we were.
Yeah.
It's Riviera Maya. I heard it's even better. But
let's take a trip. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. What was your favorite part of the honeymoon? Do you remember? I have one. Or like a favorite memory.
Okay. This is something I wish we had here. After every meal, they had a bakery that was open 24/7, right? 24/7.
The cafe?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, we'd go to that cafe and I'd get like these fruit tarts. They were so good. Because that's like, it just reminded me of Mexico, but it was so fresh and it was light. It was small, but it was so good. So I remember that. Yeah. And you'd always get a coffee. And I was like, I have no idea how he's chugging a coffee after we just ate a whole lobster. And
yeah, something was wrong with me too because it was so hot and I had to get a hot coffee. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with me. I think my favorite memory was our last night. So here's what happened. So the lobster restaurant was being renovated, and so to our understanding, it was closed because it's being renovated.
Yeah.
The last night we found out, no, it just got moved to a place called The Kitchen.
Yeah. So the Lobster House was selling their menu. They were providing their menu just at a different location. We were like, what? And that's the one restaurant that Pastor Ricky was like, you have to go to that place. So I was like, what? Okay. So there you go. Go ahead.
Okay. So the Lobster House got moved and we found out the last night, but we found, on the last night, we reserved at the Chinese place because the Chinese place was the most popular restaurant.
Yeah. And
so you had to make reservations. It just wasn't like a walk-in place.
Yeah.
And so they were like, when do you want to do it? We're like, oh, we can just do it the last night.
Yeah.
And then it just fell on it fell on the same night that we discovered the Lobster House was open. So what we did was for a pre-dinner, we went to the Lobster House.
Yeah.
We got lobster tails. We just filled up. It was so good. The lobster tails were so fat. Biggest lobster tails I've ever seen in my life. So delicious. And then after, we went to the Asian place, and we stuffed up there. That food is pretty good.
It was.
Those egg rolls slapped.
I can't remember what I got, but they had like a whole show. There was a dragon walking by, and it was like dim lit, so it was so romantic and stuff. But your girl was getting full.
Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, we went back to the lobster house, and I ordered another lobster tail.
I can tell. I remember when we went that second time, and they were about to close. We went 30 minutes.
Yeah, we were like the last one of the few couples there.
Yeah. One of the guys, the servers, I can't remember what his name was, like, "Oh, y'all back again?" I'm like, "Yeah."
We're like, "Yeah, we're back." And then I think the most annoying moment that I had at the resort is we ordered room service at like midnight, and then at 1:30 a.m. they finally showed up.
I was out.
And I had to wake up
Like
Esther for her sandwich. And I felt so bad. It's like, why'd you guys take so long? It's a sandwich. And I ordered a cheeseburger. But other than that, it was great.
I don't even remember. Yeah, I don't even remember.
I felt terrible. I was like, babe, your sandwich is here. And she's just out of it, just... And then she passed out.
Yeah,
and
but it was beautiful.
It was a really fun trip. We went too long. I think 10 days was way too long.
I think we went for 8, babe.
We went to 10. I remember 10.
I think we went for 8.
You went for 10.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're happily married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you wanted to do this before we recorded. What is one thing you love about me?
Okay. I had this thought as we were making our coffee because I saw my lunch kit. So, we leave from Monday through Friday. We leave around the same time to go to work. And I'm usually the one who cooks dinner. Not saying that Brandon doesn't. He does. But...
When I do, it's a little questionable. It's a little sad. My meals are good.
They are.
The potato and sausage
You
meal.
have gotten a lot better, okay? Let's just say.
What are you saying my first meals haven't been good?
The first meals weren't.
Like what? What was the first meal I made? Do you remember?
Well, I can't even remember. I've tried erasing it from my memory because it was that bad.
No.
But yeah, you've gotten better.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah. Anyways, but something that you do every morning when we go to work, before we go to work, is you prep my lunch. So I usually cook dinner in the evenings, and in the morning he packs my lunch, and then he leaves a beautiful love note. And they're really silly sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they're funny. Sometimes they're genuine and serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what I'm going to get, but that's something that I look forward to. Like when I go grab my lunch from the teacher's lounge, and I'm like, ooh, my lunch, or my note. And
I think my favorite note, and I remember this specifically because it was so ridiculous. I was running late to work, and I still had to pack your lunch. And so I wrote something like, I'm running late. Here's your love note. Love you. Bye.
Yeah.
Just super not romantic at all.
But it's the fact that you stop and do that.
Yeah.
I remember one time you were like, why don't I ever get a note? And I was like, well, because if I start doing it, then it's not your thing.
Yeah. How come I never... I should just start writing notes to myself.
I think... Because I every time he writes a note, I hate throwing it away, so I just leave it on the bottom of my lunch kit.
She
and I
has
have
fat
a whole
stack of notes on the bottom of her lunch
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's so funny.
After that one time, you were like, why don't I get a love note? I wrote a note. And then I think I wrote one more. I think you only have 2.
I only have 2 in my lunchbox.
In your lunch. But that's your thing, babe. So I won't take it away.
Thanks.
I'll let you continue.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Something I love about you, Esther, is you're so intentional with hanging out with me. And here's an example. Yesterday morning, so cute, okay? You were like, so the night prior to yesterday, so 2 nights ago, you were like, can we both wake up at 7 so we can hang out? And I'm like, sure, absolutely.
Because he leaves at 7:30.
Yeah, I leave at 7:30. And then so we wake up. Yesterday morning was a little bit more slow, okay? I was already up and going. Esther was just kind of laying there relaxing. And then the moment she got up and decided to hang out with me, I had to leave.
Just time went by so quickly. I didn't realize it. I was so tired.
And then I was like, all right, babe, I got to go. She's like, you're leaving? I wanted to hang out.
I felt so bad because I told you I wanted to hang out, and then I slept in a little bit.
And then she didn't hang out with me.
Yeah, and it was on me. Like, there was no faulting you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I felt really crappy. I was like,
yeah.
Please.
But I love how intentional you are. It's my favorite. Because I think people can make an excuse in their marriage that they never have time for each other, or I don't know, maybe people actually do that, but you make time. And it's even just like when I'm getting dressed, you just stand there. You're just like, ooh, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think it's so important because you can get caught up in just things that aren't really important. Like you and I could be like, oh, let's hang out. Well, like, let's eat together and we'll watch Netflix. That's not hanging out. We're staring at a screen. And we fell into that rhythm a little bit. And I'm not saying that that's not fine. That's okay. Sometimes we're so drained that like it's okay. But like I'm off. Like, okay, so those of y'all who don't know, I'm a teacher. Summer break, so your girl
She's off.
is off.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm a teacher too, but I work at the autism program, and when it comes to autism, you have to go throughout the summer. That's not a bad thing. Summer camp is the best.
Okay.
Yeah, but she's off, and I'm not.
Yeah, and I'm grateful to be off. Like,
she's so grateful that I was like, "Hey, babe, you want to help with the summer camp?" Without hesitation.
No.
And I'm like, I understand.
I was so ready. Well, you also asked me like towards the end of, or the beginning of May.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like, I'm just trying to get through this school year. But it's okay. My babies are gone. They're going on.
They're
fourth
gone.
grade.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my mom says, like, when I talk to her and about school, and I'm like, yeah, my kids are my babies. And she's like, Esther, they're not your babies. And I get what she says. But I'm like, Mom,
They're my
I
babies.
spend 8 hours with these kiddos 5 days a week. Sometimes, like, I spend more time with them than with anybody else besides you, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, of course. They feel like my kids. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was one kid, and this made me cry so bad. But she was like, so she'd be one of the first ones to walk in because she was a bus rider. And she's a leader, like natural leader. Like, what can I help you with? And she's tall too, so she's like,
she can reach for stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she was just really independent. And then she would also be my last one to leave because she'd be my fourth way, my last round of kids who would leave. So I'd have her longer than anyone else, right? And so I was able to give her more responsibilities because she'd ask for them. She was like, what can I help you with? And I want to do this. And right? And so there was just like, I'd give her more. And I remember we had Christmas parties, Christmas break. And then we came back in January. And like a week after we came back in January, she didn't come. Like she didn't show up. And I was like, okay, well, she's not here today, right? And then that same day that she didn't show up, in the evening at like 3:14, it was like close to the end of the school day, I got an email from one of the secretaries. She was like, this student has been withdrawn. She is, she's withdrawn at this point. And I was like, what? And like my heart dropped. And I'm like, what do you mean she's withdrawn? Like she had no idea. This little girl had no idea because she'd never told me. And I knew like some things were happening at home. Like,
yeah,
just a lot of things were happening. And, sorry, I didn't mean to get so serious all of a sudden. And so I went to the office and I was like, where is she? Like, what school did she transfer to? Like, who came and withdrew her? Because someone has to go and withdraw them. Or I guess they could do it over the phone. But someone went and she was like, oh, Mom came and withdrew so-and-so. And she is going to a school in Houston. And I'm like,
you're like, that's it. We're moving to Houston.
No, but my heart dropped because there's so much. I guess during that time, I was just so careful with my kids. And I think I had just seen that movie, the one about sex trafficking.
Oh,
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
It's so good, guys.
You beat me to it.
Everyone needs to see that movie because it just awakens your perspective in matters of that, sex trafficking. Anyway, so I had seen that like in November, October, something like that. So that was still on my mind. And I remember on my Instagram, I follow a sex trafficking page.
Exodus Cry?
Exodus Cry. I follow like 3. And one of them said that Houston was a big
sex trafficking place. Wow.
And so anytime I talked to her and she'd tell me that she was probably going to move to Houston, I was like, oh, baby, you got to be really careful. Like, don't talk to strangers. And like, this is a conversation I had with her because she was a leader and she liked to speak out. And she wasn't afraid of talking to someone. And that can be dangerous sometimes. And so when she left and I found out she was in Houston, my heart dropped. And I remember I went back to my classroom and I started crying because I was like, I didn't even get to say bye to her. And like, I was so mad at the mom. I was like, how can you take her away without her saying bye to her classmates or to her teacher? I was being selfish. I was making it about me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, she had no idea because she talked about moving to Houston towards the end of the school year. I don't think she had an idea of her moving like after the semester. And so I remember I called stepmom because she was staying with stepmom, and I called her until third phone call. I think stepmom picked up. She was like, "Hey," I was like, "I just wanted to see like how is she?" She was like, "Oh, she's not in my care anymore. She's in mom's care." Mm. I was like, "But here's your phone number if you want to try her." I called mom like 3 times, voicemail, and I was like, "Lord, I just leave her to you. Like, I can't, like, I wish I could have," because my goal was, like, if mom answers, I'd be like, "Hey, like, I'm her teacher. Like, can I just say bye to her one more time?" And I was going to give her, like, an advice, like, "Baby, be careful." Like, mm-hmm. But I didn't get that chance to say bye. And so when my mom says they're not your kids, I'm like, biologically, they're not.
Right. But in your heart.
But in my heart, yeah. After spending so much time with them and teaching them, like, all these lessons, like, yeah, they start feeling like your own kids.
Yeah.
So,
what's that like knowing that you're making an impact on their life? Because I could list off every teacher from kindergarten up to 6th grade. Like, what is it like knowing that whenever your kids are in their 20s, they can be like, in 3rd grade, I had Miss Winsor.
It makes me pause a lot because I'm like, these kids are going to remember what I'm saying. So especially whenever I'm upset. And I just want to say some things. And I'm like, no, stop. And I just bite my tongue, like literally bite my tongue. But there's pressure, and it's good.
It's a good pressure?
Yeah, it's a good pressure because it's like, it just makes you accountable to yourself. Mm-hmm. Knowing that what you're saying impacts not just them, but their parents and grandparents, brothers, sisters, whoever they live with. Yeah. Whoever they surround themselves with. And so it's a good kind of pressure. And that's why it's so important to go, like, to find peace in the Lord. Mm-hmm. And go back to the Lord whenever you're upset. And it's so hard to do that sometimes because some kids love making me upset.
Push your buttons.
Not love, but they just, yeah.
No, they love it. They're like, Miss Windsor's mad.
Some of them do. I'm like, you little evil.
You little butthead.
No, but it's just, it all comes from home, you know. But, yeah, so it's a good pressure.
Nice. Okay, I don't mean to switch gears, but I've been wanting to ask this question ever since you've been wanting to talk about doing a podcast with me. First off, thank you for doing this. Mm-hmm. I'm really happy to have you on. The goal was to have Esther to be the first woman on my podcast, but my mom beat her.
But his mom, and she made sure, to make that
known.
Yeah, she's like, I'm the first one. But anyways, honestly, I love your mom. She's so cool.
That's good. That'd really awkward if you didn't like my mom. And you just start bashing her right now. Yeah, you know what?
No. Oh my god.
That'd be so bad. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. We're gonna end the episode, and you're just screaming in the background. You just mute your mic. You're like, your mom is this, your mom is that. But I'm so curious. When you read the Bible, 95% of your time since we've been married has always been spent in the Old Testament.
Okay.
Why?
I guess growing up, my mom would make me read Matthew. Like, she made me go in order. Matthew.
Mark, Luke, John.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So, I grew up reading the Bible in Spanish, and so I know, like, Matthew, Mark, Mateo, like, all those, but I know them in Spanish. So whenever we're in church, and they're like, turn to Habakkuk, and I'm like, Habakkuk. And I, like, in my mind, I'm, like, trying to translate it into Spanish. Are you burping? Mm-hmm. I thought you were gagging. Sorry.
I was trying to burp quietly, so I'm not, like, blah in the mic.
And so then, I don't know. I've just never really read the Old Testament. Mm-hmm. And the Bible that I have is the one that your grandparents gave you. What is it?
The New Living Translation.
It is so easy to read. Like, it's like I'm talking to Brandon. And the New King James Version, that's what I grew up with.
Thou
and
shall.
It was so hard.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Do they have like New King James Version like in Spanish?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Well, so they have different translations in Spanish too.
Yes. The
That's
same
cool.
translations y'all have in English are the same ones we have in Spanish.
That's cool.
Like the Passion Translation, Amplified, New Living, New Living. Yeah.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. I thought Spanish was just Spanish. One translation.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, my grandparents gave us a Bible. I don't think I was saved yet.
But it was for your graduation because they wrote a cute little note. That was Grandma Lorraine.
Yeah, I actually don't think it was for graduation because me and my brother got one at the same exact time.
Oh.
And so I remember I opened the front page and it was like this book's to help you if you have any questions in life. The answers in this book.
Mm-hmm.
This book's gonna bless you. We love you so much. I hope it blesses you, Grandma and Grandpa.
And I think Uncle Bernie is on there.
Uncle Bernie. Yeah. Every time my grandparents sign a card, they always put my Uncle Bernie's name, who has cerebral palsy, and he's my best friend. He is so amazing. And I actually want to do an episode with him and my grandfather soon when we go to Albuquerque. So you guys stay tuned.
That'd be so great.
Yes, I want to do that so bad. But I wasn't saved yet. And then whenever I got saved, I was like, oh my gosh, I have a Bible.
And it was a pretty cool Bible.
It's a really sweet Bible. So it has like charts in there, and on the top it has like routes. So it has a flyover route, a scenic route, and a historic route.
Yeah.
And so if you don't want to read the entire Bible, you can just do the route. So like the scenic route talks about like major events in Jerusalem or something like that. A flyover is reading the entire Bible in a year, like getting all the major chunks and the major stories within a year.
I could not. Well, maybe I could, but.
And it's a really sweet, like freshly saved, get that Bible. Mm-hmm. It is really, really cool.
It's good.
Yeah. So
anyways, that Bible is now it's yours, but
it's hers. She marks
I
it up. There's
have
stuff in
written
there.
in it. I've drawn because
she loves drawing.
I love drawing. I'm not that great, but I think if I practiced, I could be.
Babe, you're great.
Thanks.
You're really good at drawing. You're way better than me.
Yeah. So I'm currently in Isaiah because I've never read Isaiah, and I've heard so many people quote Isaiah, and that's currently where I'm at. And Isaiah 6, it almost made me cry whenever I was reading it. I was like, Lord, this is where that song comes from. You know, Jesus' image, and the train of his robe filled the temple, and the angels circled around him, and they cried. Whatever, right? Sorry.
You are holy.
You are holy. Okay, that song comes from Isaiah 6.
Wow.
And so I like highlighted not the whole thing, but what is said in the song, and then I wrote, "You are holy" by Jesus' image, and then like music notes. Yeah. And it's been really good. I whenever you said reading the Bible in a year, I said I couldn't do that because I like to
dissect it.
Yeah. And I can't, like, because my mom used to be like, read a chapter a day. I can't do that. I mean, maybe if I could. Okay, I could. But it helps me if I just read. It doesn't matter if I read a chapter. It could be 2 chapters. It could be 3. Or it could be half a chapter. But I'm not looking at the chapters. I'm looking at the sections. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if this section, I'm like, Lord, this is really good. Let me go back and read it. And sometimes I'll read it 3 times, 4 times, and then I'll highlight it, and then I'll like draw, because that's how my brain works. It just helps me remember. And a lot of the times I hear people quote like so-and-so, this, in Hebrews it says this, in James it says this, and I'm like, I can't. I'm sorry, Lord. I have tried like memorizing them, but like when Pastor Rhonda mentioned King Josiah, that is like around 2 Kings. No. 2 Samuel or 1 Kings, because I just finished reading all that about David, his son Solomon. Oh gosh.
Esther.
Solomon and all the kings after. And so I knew what she was talking about. No idea where. Okay, exactly where, but I know what she's talking about. Mm-hmm. So it just helps me like dissect it. And for example, I think it was like in 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, it talks about the life of David, and it's amazing. Like whew, that guy went through it. Okay. But then it talks about King Solomon. And after King Solomon, it talks about how I'm forgetting right now. How it was broken into two kingdoms. The kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. Okay, I don't really know. I'm trying to remember. Because I made a chart.
Sorry, can I interrupt you?
Yeah.
So Esther made a chart of all the kings.
Yeah, because it tells you this king ruled for so-and-so for how many years, and he was a good king, or he was a bad king. And then, like, I made a chart that had, like, what was notorious of that king, right?
And then it talked about, like, how if they were related to someone, so she just made this whole chart. She spent a really long time doing it. And then she actually discovered that chart is in the Bible.
Oh, it was in the Bible, and I was like, what?
Yeah, the New Living Translation, they made it for her, so she didn't have to do that. It was already there.
No,
but so funny.
Yeah, I was a little bit frustrated. But the Lord was like, hey, but now if I had just seen that chart, I would have been like, oh.
You just skimmed over it.
I would have just turned the page. But because I took the time and, like, made the chart myself and wrote how many years and he was a good king or he was a bad king and what he did, I was able to, like, get a visual and see, oh, this is what I meant. Because the Bible goes back and forth from the two kingdoms. It could be talking about the kingdom of Israel, and then it goes back to the other kingdom, which I think it's
Judah.
Yeah, And so I was like, I can't. You're just going back and forth. I need a visual. So that's whenever I started doing that. Yeah. And then it continues going on, but I was just like, I don't have enough paper, so I just highlighted it.
Yeah, I just think it's cool because I feel bad saying this. I don't want to say I don't have a desire to read the Old Testament. I think my flesh doesn't because, I don't know, I just find it boring sometimes. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I'm recovering from a cold, so I'm a little stuffy. So whenever you read the Old Testament, I just get encouraged to read the Old Testament because obviously you love it. And a lot of my friends quote it and they love it. I'm like, man. And then Pastor Denny, he said something along the lines of, you can't fully understand the God of the New Testament if you don't know the God of the Old Testament. Something like that. And that encouraged him, like, wow, I should really read the Old Testament. And so, yeah, 95 of my reading is always in the New Testament. I love Jesus. And that's not bad. I love Jesus. I love reading the parables. I'm currently in Luke, and I'm still in Luke because, like you said, I don't just want to read it. I sit there, and I'll read a parable like 5 times, and it's like, Lord, what does this mean? And then sometimes I'll read one parable, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's what that means. And I just have this huge revelation. But the ministry of Jesus Image and Michael Koulianos has really grown my appreciation of Jesus, and they teach very well of who he is and who he is not, and it's beautiful. And so I just love the New Testament. I love Paul. I love James. Really.
I'm sorry, when you said I love Paul, I was like, who's
Paul? Your little brother Paul?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have a little brother Paul. He's a menace. He's a heathen. I'm just kidding.
No, he's not.
He's the best.
He's funny. And then you have Raquel. Oh, my
Raquel,
gosh.
who, I will honestly say, has an anointing to FaceTime me at the worst times. Most of the time I'm free. But the moment I step on stage, the moment I'm in school, whatever, the moment I get busy, my phone goes off and I see that she's FaceTiming me. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I have to text her, I'm like, yo, I'm not ignoring you. You just call at the worst times. And then, yeah. And then Esther will FaceTime her. And then randomly Raquel's like, okay, bye. And then she'll hang up.
She was just hanging up. And I'm like, okay. But, yeah, how old is she?
She's 10.
Yeah. So one time she called me. It must have been, I was off. So last week. And she was just walking with her friend, and she wasn't even talking to me. She just had me, like, looking at the trees, and I'm like, what is going on?
Those are some nice trees.
I was like, Raquel, and nothing. Like, she was just talking to her friend. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to let you go because I'm cooking. She was like, what? I'm going to let you go. I had to say it like 3 times.
What?
She was like, oh, okay. Hung up. And I'm like,
what? Children. Well, before we end, I would love to ask you this final question.
Okay.
Okay. What is one thing marriage has taught you?
Good question. Just one?
Just one.
Okay. And if I say this one, it's not the main one.
You can say 5 if you want. And when I say it before we end, I'm not trying to end like now. We can talk for another 30 minutes if you'd like to.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
What's one thing that marriage has taught me is...
How to punch. I'm just kidding. Because you hit me. I'm just kidding. Okay, can I tell the story?
Yeah.
About how you slapped my back?
Gosh, yes.
Okay. This is Esther's favorite story. So, it was like 11 o'clock at night. It's pitch black. I don't know why. I'm so hyper. I just have a burst of energy.
We were laying in bed.
I don't remember Esther's state. I don't know if she was tired or trying to go to sleep.
That was, both.
And for some reason, I sat up. And as loud as I could, I just go, I just have so much energy. And the moment I said that, Esther, pow, slapped my back. It hurt so bad.
No, let me say it again, because you did not say it. Like, that memory is just recorded in my brain so clearly. You're laying down, and then just all of a sudden, you just sit up and you're like, I'm so full of energy. And I go, lay down. All you could hear, because you didn't have a shirt on. I remember I slapped your back.
Skin to skin.
Yeah, your bare back, and you were like, ow.
Just to preface, Esther does not hit me. I was just kidding.
I don't know.
Except for that one moment, she just slapped my back.
Yeah.
It hurt so bad.
Funny.
It was so loud.
But it was so perfect. Like, I wish someone had recorded that moment.
I have so much energy. Oh! And then she spent 40 minutes laughing so hard.
Gosh.
Yeah, there's that.
Okay, so one thing that marriage has taught me is I think everyone is really selfish at some point. And so I've learned, or I'm still learning, because sometimes I catch myself doing this, but sometimes I like the things that I do things, the way that I do it.
The way you, yeah.
I think my way is really good.
Yeah, she does.
And so the one thing I've learned is not trying to change you. Like, if there's something that you can get good at that would benefit you in the future, I'll teach you and I'll patiently tell you how to do this in a loving way. But there's some things that it's like, well, that's just who he is. That's his character. And not that it's a bad thing, but it's like, okay, I'm gonna love that version of Brandon, and I'm gonna stop being selfish right now because I want it to be done my way. And sometimes, like, I've discovered your way is better. And I'm like,
what? Since when? I'm just kidding. Calling her out.
No, but something that I've learned with you is like resting. So growing up, there was I still see this in my sister. We're always cleaning. The house is always like, at least every week we had to mop.
Yeah.
At least. Maybe every day we had to sweep. Every other day we had to like dust. Dishes, by the time we went to go to sleep, had to be done. Yeah. And so with you, I learned it doesn't always have to be like, people live here. It's okay if it's a little bit messy because we're going to clean. Now that doesn't mean don't clean for 2 weeks. No, that's not what I'm saying.
I learned about Esther is that, and I do see a sweet balance of both, but when it's time to rest, she just wanted to clean. And then when I wake up on a Saturday, she's already up. There's things in the laundry. She's just scrubbing stuff. And I'm like, oh, I just wanted to just hang out and watch TV all day, which is, again, I think there's a balance. Yeah. I can't remember what we were doing, what was going on, but I remember there was like a Saturday or something, or we had a day off, and I was like, Esther, like, let's just not do anything. Like, we're not even going to clean. And it actually was very nice. We just sat around. But also, too, like I said, there's a balance, because sometimes I hate waking up on a Monday morning and the kitchen is just disgusting because we didn't clean all weekend. So I do see a balance of both. Yeah. Of just relaxing, taking a break, and 2, You got to get up and do the dishes, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Shout out to our dishwasher. Man, our dishwasher is so hard. Is it a he or she? What do we want to?
he.
He is such
His
a
name's
hard
Gilbert.
worker. Gilbert. Okay. Wow. Gilbert.
We just named him. Wow, that just happened.
Gilbert is such a hard worker. Like anytime.
He works overboard because whenever, so the situation is Esther used to live at this house with her sister. And whenever we got married, her sister and her boyfriend moved out and then I moved in. And so did you guys ever use the dishwasher?
Nope.
Right.
Dishwashers are not a thing in the, well, okay, I say the Mexican households, but it could be just our Mexican household. But my aunt had one. We never used it.
Never used it.
Never.
And so I think I just had a light bulb moment. I was like, Esther, why are we scrubbing all these dishes? We have a dishwasher.
And we discovered Gilbert.
And then Esther's like, I don't even know if it works.
Yeah, I didn't. And we didn't have any,
Those
they're not Tide Pods.
I almost said Tide Pods again. The dishwashing pods.
Yeah.
And then we put it in there, and then
it worked.
It worked, and our life has been forever changed.
And it like really works. Like it.
Yeah.
Those cups come out shiny.
I will say, Gilbert, I'm not mad at you. It is the manufacturing of the glasses.
Yeah.
But we have lost more glasses in the dishwasher than any other place.
No. Well, no. It's not all Gilbert's fault.
Is
I
it
remember
our fault?
I've broken like 3.
Oh.
Yeah, on our wedding. Oh my gosh, I have to go back to this. When we got married, before we got married, we made a wedding registry.
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be honest. Registries were a new thing. A lot of things, like getting married with Brandon.
Hey,
I discovered.
Keep talking. Camera stop recording. When to press record again. Just keep talking.
Oh, okay. So, I forgot what I was saying. Registry. Okay. So I discovered a lot of things when I was like getting married or prepping to get married with Brandon. Just like different things that y'all do. And anyways, okay. So registry was one of them. I'd never heard of a registry. I'm like, what? Okay, well, let's do this. And it was a lot of fun because you can just put it on there and people will buy it. And I'm like, yes, I love that. And so we did Target, Amazon, and we put it all on the Knot registry, right, babe?
Yeah.
And it was so amazing because at the school that I work at, and like I'm new. I think we got married in June, and I officially started working at that school in the end of December. So, I mean, I hadn't been there that long. And then one of the secretaries was like, yeah, we're gonna do a wedding shower for you. And I'm like, oh, really? Like, y'all don't even know me that well. But they were like, yeah, like, you're a part of the Libby family. Like, we're gonna do this for you. We do this for all the teachers or like staff. If you have a wedding shower, baby shower, like all that, we'll do that for you. I'm like, okay. Honestly, didn't know what to expect. And so the secretaries, they made an invitation. It said wedding shower of Esther Hernandez.
I love that they do that for you. That's so sweet.
And they were like, give us your registry. I'm like, okay. And they give him the registry. And the day came for the wedding shower at school. And they got a big cake, like a big cake.
A big cake.
Yeah. And then they had punch. And when I showed up, there was just a table, okay? A white table with a pink tablecloth. I'm like, okay. Well, during my conference was, I think 11. I went down there and there was a cake and there was punch. I'm like, oh, yay. And there was like a few gift bags. I'm like, yes, this is awesome. Like, whoa, I'm so excited to open them. By the end of the day, kids were gone. I went to the office. There was a ton of gifts.
Praise God.
At that table.
Hallelujah.
Half of our registry got purchased by Libby Elementary. And I'm like,
wow.
What? I was so, and like the ones who
blessed.
Yeah, the ones who like I've done this before. We're like, oh shoot, there's a wedding shower or a baby shower tomorrow. There's no way they're gonna get their gifts. So some of them just got like a gift card. I'm like, this is so awesome. So then the other half of our registry was purchased by friends, family, majority by family, but others by friends. So I would say about 80% of our registry got purchased.
We did. I think my favorite gift was the coffee maker from my grandma because I went to Albuquerque. I don't remember why,
Your grandma has blessed us so much.
My grandma's the bomb.com.
She's so awesome.
Love you, Grandma.
She's so generous.
Yeah. I don't remember why I was in Albuquerque. I don't know if I was visiting.
I think it was for...
Was it Isaiah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So excuse me. I went to a funeral of mine, a buddy of mine, in like October, the year we were gonna get married.
Yeah.
And then my grandma was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is a great opportunity.
What do you want?
What do you want?" And I'm like, "I would love a coffee maker."
Yeah.
And then she took me to Walmart, and the one that we actually wanted was there, which is really cool. It has a frother, which we never use.
Oh my gosh, we got to use it.
We got to use it.
I'm so sorry.
We got to use it, but it can make iced coffee, rich coffee, classic coffee. I don't know the difference.
I always do rich. I'm like, I feel like it's stronger. Too. That's what it means.
You think so?
Yeah. And your grandma, oh my gosh, she gave us those the white ceramic pans.
Yep.
I know she's gonna watch this, right?
For like lasagna, yeah.
Okay, we have used it for lasagna, but I make enchiladas in that, and I'm so grateful for that gift. Like, that has been one of the best gifts.
Enchiladas.
Also, the Post, Alicia and Jeff Post gave us...
Jeffrey.
Oh, my gosh.
They gotta say the pressure cooker from Ninja.
But it's like, guys, okay, if any of y'all are getting married, you need to put this on your registry. It is a Ninja air fryer, pressure cooker,
dehydrator, slow cooker,
yogurt maker,
grill stuff in it. You can make yogurt.
Yeah,
you can do anything.
You can grill chicken,
anything and everything,
and it's only like $200. I mean, which okay, I get it. It's $200, but a Ninja air fryer cost $100.
So why not just put a little $100? Yeah, extra $100 for.
And on your registry, you can make it even like a group contribution. But the Post were so generous, and they got that gift. I was like.
It's so sweet. I remember during our wedding shower, I just saw Jeff holding it. I'm like, no
it was like,
way.
That's it. Yeah, because we had seen it before.
Because they had one.
Yeah, and I was like, this is awesome. Yeah.
And then, maybe I shouldn't say this, but someone bought us.
No.
Okay. I'm not going to say it. Okay, one thing that marriage has taught me, I'm just going to randomly just move on there.
Yeah.
One thing that marriage has taught me, and I think I'm terrible at it still, is being selfless.
That's like what I said. You're copying me.
I'm not copying you.
You're being selfish.
I'm not being selfish.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
Just serving you is always a blessing, but sometimes it's really difficult because sometimes it is an inconvenience. And this is what I mean by that. Sometimes I go to work all day. I come home, and in my mind, I'm just going to plop down and play Fortnite. Shout out Fortnite. That has been my kick. Okay? I'm actually very upset with Fortnite right now. That's why I haven't been playing. The map sucks. The new map is terrible.
I've heard this.
So that's why I haven't really been driven to play anymore. But in my mind, I just want to come home and drink a Dr. Pepper and play Fortnite. But I get down and I hear, "Can you mow the lawn today?"
Not around here, partner. Not around here.
"Can you mow the lawn today? Can you run to Walmart? Can you cook dinner?
Can you massage my feet?
Can you massage my feet?" And I'm just dying inside. And I'm like, yes. And I'll just share this with you. I, for the most part, don't massage your feet because I don't feel like it.
Yeah, I know.
Because I am just pooped.
Selfish.
And I'm selfish.
I'm joking.
And that is one thing that marriage has taught me is you just got to be selfless and you have to learn how to sacrifice your time. You have to learn how to sacrifice your comfort zone. Yeah. And it's not easy. I'm still growing in it. And I can't wait till I'm like 60.
And you're like a pro at massaging my feet?
Pro massaging your feet. Anything you ask, I do. And my grandkids are like, wow, Grandpa, you're just so sweet to Grandma.
But I think there's also a balance to that. Like, I'm not going to run you like like my personal assistant.
And I want to preface, she doesn't treat me like that.
No, like, you kind of made me sound like I was needy.
You're not needy.
I mean, sometimes I am.
It's just sometimes you forget that you live with somebody, and sometimes you just want to plop down and you throw your clothes by the pile by the door. and you're just like, pick up your clothes. And I'm just like, dang it.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Yeah. There's a hamper. That's all I'll say.
You can't talk because you have a clothes pile too, sweetheart.
But your pile just keeps growing. Okay, we're not gonna discuss this in front.
You know, the things get awkward. But yeah, marriage has been the best.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Yeah.
That is like the one question people always ask me: how's the married life?
Yeah.
And I jokingly always respond with this: I don't want to talk about it. But then I was like, it's the best because being married is really awesome.
It's so fun.
And for me, I've met people who either feel like they're not called to be married. I've met people who feel like they're supposed to be single, or they don't really mind being single. Mm-hmm. I was not like that. Mm-hmm. I just felt like I was better with someone, and I found my better half because Esther makes me better.
Thank you, my love.
Yeah.
Well,
and yeah.
I think this is a good place to end it.
Actually,
the podcast.
One more thing. Oh. I want you just to share real quick. 2 minutes. What were your first initial thoughts when I started the podcast?
I thought this was just like a temporary hobby. You know, it was like
a phase.
A phase, yeah. And I was like, listen, dude, if you're gonna start buying all these cameras, or no, you already get the camera. The lights, the microphones. I'm like, you better be serious. Mm-hmm. And so I think we had that conversation. Like, if this is something you really want, because it sounded like it was something you've had on your heart for a while. I was like, okay, let's do this. But I'm gonna push you, and you're gonna do it. So yeah.
It just makes me laugh because it's like, I thought it was a phase, which is, I mean, it's real. Like, I think everyone has. When it comes to stuff like this, I'm not going to be specific, but I have seen people like, oh, I want to do this, and I want a podcast, and I want a YouTube channel, and then like 4 months later, they're not posting anymore. Yeah. And so, go ahead.
And like, I'm not saying maybe you will do this for the rest of your life. Maybe you'll do it for another year. But what I meant by phase is like something that you like start investing.
So much money, and then I'd never do it.
And then you stop, or you don't even get started. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because I've seen people who like sign up for, and they're super excited. Let's go to the gym and let's do weights. And 2 weeks later, they're not going.
Called out.
3 months later, they're still paying the membership. And I'm like, just cancel it.
She's talking about me, ladies and gentlemen.
But anyways, that's not what we're talking about right now.
Anyways, and my motorcycle too. I got blessed with a motorcycle, and all I had to do was clean the carburetor. Got the carburetor off, and it's still off, and it's been like a month. So yeah. There's just some things that just...
So we have a motorcycle for sale if y'all want to buy one.
You know what? Just come pick it up. It's free. Mm-hmm. Just take it off my...
No, it's not.
It's not free.
It's not
$50.
No.
$75.
Just email us.
Yeah.
Well... This is good. I'm done.
This is good. Okay, she's done. I'm just going to end it like this. Esther, I want to thank you for allowing me to do something like this. Mm-hmm. Because as teachers, we obviously work Monday through Friday. So the only time that I'm able to film is Saturdays mainly. The only time I'm able to hang out with you is Saturdays mainly. Yeah. And so the fact that you are so open to sacrifice our mornings for people to come over and film is such a blessing. Yeah. And I have the biggest supporter, and her name's Esther Winsor. Thank you. And she's the best. And so thank you. Everyone, thank you for listening. I'm so happy that if you guys don't know my wife, you finally got to meet my wife. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for tuning in. You can now like and subscribe on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And we have Sip&Awe merch. If you're tired of looking like Esther, you can change your wardrobe.
What?
There you go. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. And we will see you on the flippity floppy.
Bye.